Hey everybody, Brian Von Vier here. Welcome back to another set of D&D stories, and today we're going to be talking about something kind of wholesome. Well, I guess you could say wholesome. The topic of your first time. And we're not talking about the birds and the bees. No. The first time you encountered a dragon in D&D. That's right. What is the story of your first time encountering a dragon? Now, leave it in the comments below. Let us know what your first time was like and how it felt to finally encounter those giant winged lizard beasts. During my first D&D campaign, the party ran into a half-orc who told us her whole party had been killed by a dragon in the area. The party's benefactor indicated that we should probably take care of the dragon, and so we went after it. It was an adult shadow dragon. We were level 5. So long story short, the adult shadow dragon sat on my halfling cleric. Turns out having an adult dragon sit on you is quite fatal for halflings. Also, I never even heard of a shadow dragon, so that's cool. Oh boy, how about the second time? That's fine, right? Nope, video over, it's done, we're out, show the outro, we're done. Don't worry, I'm just kidding. Anyway, everyone was a ranger who chose one favorite enemy to be dragons. But since I was a half dragon and the DM busted out the Star Wars, "I am your father" moment, and I got forced to sit back and watch my party die at my father's claws. I eventually grew powerful enough to kill him and take over his place without the whole "rar, I'm evil, rar" issue. Very first D&D campaign I ever ran back in 3.5 edition, which is the best edition ever. First session, everyone's level 3. They're in a dungeon fighting goblins and skeletons and that sort of thing. They finally reach the treasury, and boom! Adult black dragon shows up, and because my autistic ass thought, hey, it's called Dungeons and Dragons, and if there isn't a dragon in the dungeon, then it won't make any sense. My players were smart enough to run away. The very first time we encountered a dragon, it picked my character up with its mouth and tried to fly off with him. 2 of my fellow party members blasted it in the eyes with spells until it let me go. Then I fell and almost died from the fall damage. Didn't think that one through. There was a dragon in a ruined tower. Our DM told us we should probably ignore it, and we agree for the time being and continue through the abandoned village. We ran into a cult that worshipped the dragon, got captured, and were brought to the dragon as sacrifices. Now, my necromancer had the roles of his life and convinced the dragon that since he was a necromancer, he could become a lich and serve the dragon eternally. Whereas these bandits could not, and they would eventually die. We then made a deal with the dragon. You get gold and riches, we receive 1 dead cult. And that's exactly what happened. Now sadly, the necromancer died later in the campaign when he got jumped by 3 creatures, one of them rolling a crit. At the end of the campaign, the party went back and killed the dragon before we started the next campaign. Now, I'm just imagining this dragon. "Ah, yes, my riches." Yeah, you have riches in blood, bitch. Homebrew game, and the setting for the main hub is a school. During the entrance exam, the fight was against the school mascot. The mascot is a baby dragon. Much later in the campaign, we learned that the headmaster of the school is a dragon, and the mascot is his son, or at this point probably was his son because you probably nuked the little guy. We were looking for a black dragon that had a soul well. Ooh, cool. My character, who was naive and loved most living creatures, saw a baby, and tried to pet it via mage hand, because we were being sneaky beaky. DM said the mage hand touching the dragon infected my actual hand and alerted the other dragons. Note to self, don't pet baby black dragons, especially during a stealth mission. We took on a job to find an old weather station that was located in the north. Our client said that there might be some things of interest, and as a little backdrop, he introduced us to someone whose home was in that general area. Grimmock Mammoth Fist, a Goliath Rune Knight fighter with the unarmed fighting style. So we went to the north, and Timora was with us because thanks to a lucky nat 20, we found the tower quickly. But something was off. There were no signs of life for around 3 miles of the place. We entered the tower and explored it, found some nice stuff, and as we approached the tower top, we saw lots of gold and jewelry frozen in a thick layer of ice. It was then when we realized, oh fuck. And at this moment, an adult white dragon appeared. We were level 7 at this point, but already acquired some nice magic items. The fight was really rough, but thanks to potions of cold resistance, the stinky breath of that dragon did not hurt so bad. We also managed to use the ice barrier from the dragon's lair actions as total cover from his breath attacks. Only 2 came at us. When the dragon was nearly done, the fighter wrestled it down successfully, but the dragon ate our barbarian. Luckily, said barbarian had a door opener left, which was basically a breach charge explosive that deals 8d12 force damage, so he exploded the dragon from the inside. Along with 24,000 gold and a few magic items, we also found a Warforged who was frozen in the ice. The Warforged turned out to be a new party member, and the party was so rich they lived happily ever after. The end. We were going through this dungeon with a lake at the bottom of it. Ooh, cute. And we were already pretty beat up, hopping over some stepping stones single file. It was a setup for an acid blast, and we all copped it in the face before we turned around and ran. We came back a little later, after we'd healed, and were much better prepared. I managed to catch the dragon in a web spell that it just couldn't seem to get out of, and we absolutely murked it. We got around the stepping stone trap by sending a familiar to drop a couple gold coins in the lake near the horde to distract the dragon. Oh boy, did I crap my big boy pants. I had no experience with meeting dragons in D&D games, but from books and games the only information I had is that they are pretty aggressive, though as concrete block and usually can annihilate anyone they please. Our party was discovering an ancient sacred druidic temple when the ground collapsed, and my character was the only one who didn't make the save and fell with the rubble. It turned out that these ruins also serve as a resting grounds for an old dragon. The DM made sure to set up the scene as frightening as possible, with putting great emphasis on the growling, the giant diamond-like eyes, the sound of claws on the stone, only to be greeted with the following line.
Oh, hello there, little one. It was in ages since I've met anyone, or left my chambers for that matter. Come, sit down. That fall looked pretty painful. I would invite you for some tea, but I'm afraid during my slumber, it's all gone bad.
Turned out it was a completely friendly bronze dragon. Hi, Dungeon Master here. One of my players, Dr. Witch, went rogue and struck an alliance with Arcan the Cruel in Avernus, recruiting a red dragon to use in his bid for the throne of hell. The party quickly attacked Arcan, which figured Arcan was plotting something and wanted to strike first after reuniting with the group. But the dragon crashed through the ceiling of their fortress and filled the room with fire. The party had a tough but brief battle, ending in their victory. The dragon, seeing that all his allies were dead, decided that it wasn't his problem anymore and left. He's like, if you have a problem, call someone else. Only to be knocked out of the sky by the decapitated head of a pit fiend, crashing into the ground at Mach 3 as Zariel rose up above the party, holding the corpse of the poor devil witch had tricked into challenging her. This party really couldn't catch a break. DM here. So first time I threw a dragon at the players, the party was sent into an apparently abandoned roost to hunt a wormling for its liver, for a curse-breaking ritual. They traverse a swamp and find a ruined tower. At the base, broken eggs and wormling skeletons are strewn about. They climb the tower, killing bunches of kobolds, only to find the skeleton of an adult dragon on the roof. Just as the party was voicing their frustration that the quest was in vain, a voice hisses from above. Of course she is dead. This range is rich. I desired it. There can be only one, and even the mighty must sleep. Roscaladu there did the same in her time. Matricide is almost a rite of passage. Though I admit I may have improvised the cannibalism. Ah, I will grant you the favor of casting your eyes on the great and increasing Kurukizi, and then you will die. A young black dragon lands and breathes acid at the party, and the battle begins. The party was almost overwhelmed until the warlock had the brilliant idea of threatening the dragon's horde, which sent the immature and slightly crazy dragon berserk. She ignored the others to chase the warlock, providing an opening for the rest of the party to finish her off. So we were a party of level 4 characters, exploring a town, like we usually would. Earlier in this session, I saw someone destroy a holy Bible, only to be smote by the god it belonged to, which is relevant later. We suddenly find a nerfed young red shadow dragon, and the fight begins. For the whole fight, I'm doing nothing but searching for something to do while my teammates try to fight it off. It was one of my first ever sessions, and I didn't know what to do. I found a Bible of the same god as earlier and throw it at the dragon. It hits, deals 1 damage, and the dragon just dies. No smiting, nothing special. The dragon just happened to be at 1 health and just died when I tossed a book at it. My first D&D campaign, we ran Lost Mine of Phandelver as to our intro point. Many little tiny itty bitty spoilers for that, by the way. I don't know how closely the DM stuck to the actual module, but there you go. We were sent to get information from an old ancient dragon. But when we arrived, the dragon was dead. But the daughter, who we promptly spent a combat encounter defending with our very lives and then adopting immediately after looting her dad to make dragon-based magic items. Since then, Poison Tooth, daughter of Venom Fang, has been my pet and companion, and I got to teach her how to hunt and everything. I would commit heinous acts for this baby's safety. Our DM had built up the main villain of his 3-part adventure, an adult blue dragon named Distar, as an intelligent and powerful threat. We didn't think much of it since we were 4 level 15 players, fighter, rogue, paladin, and cleric, and we were really good with our characters, and he had a good balance of different characters. We arrived and fought him for a round, then D-Star noticed none of us had ranged attacks. So he flew and never came down. He would just sit there waiting for his breath attack to recharge. Kind of cheaty. Damn you, D-Star. Hey everybody, Brian Von VH is checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to ring that bell, and of course, to tell us in the comments below about your first time that you've encountered a dragon. What was it like? Did you get scared? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What did you feel? How did the whole shebang go? How did it happen? Do leave a comment down below, because it might make it into a video. You never know, so go ahead. What can it hurt? Plus, it helps the algorithm gods, you know. We all want to encounter and destroy that dragon known as the algorithms. YouTube, you're gonna die today. That said, everybody, if you want to come follow me, Brian Von VA, you can do so over on Twitch by using the link in the description, which is my website, so if you want to hire me as a voice actor too, you can, but I am primarily active on Twitch, so come say hi. That said, I want to end things on a positive note, and as things in the world, well, at least in my hemisphere of the world, get a little bit colder, thanks to the coming frost of winter, I just want to say bundle up. Christmas is on the horizon. Thanksgiving for the North Americans are on the horizon as well. And there's a lot of good things coming. The end of the year is slowly approaching, and I just want people to be happy and healthy, warm and cozy until we can just ride it on out until a brand new year comes, which will be full of love, happiness, and probably a lot of healing. So I love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.